So, welcome in, guys. Good to see you all, and thanks for being in, as always. Um, let's go back to the beginning. Leanne was first person in. Don't forget to hit the like, guys, if you haven't already. Please do. Leanne was the first person in, followed by Andy. Welcome in, Andy, as well. E-Waste Mike. Hi, Mike. Love you. Hi, Mike. What you eating? HH Recycling. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being in as well. So, guys, welcome in. Thanks for being in, and hopefully you remember to hit the like. I know E-Waste Mike and HH Recycling make me really work for that like. So, guys, come on, take it easy on me this weekend. Give me a like. Let me just make sure everything's working over on the YouTube side of things. Yeah, everything seems to be okay over there. Link is pinned, and we're live over there. Oh, Mike put a video out, I see, an hour ago. Notification there. Make it a dent. Well, I hope it's not a dent like Nice Junk was doing and trying to fix on his car. I hope you mean making a dent in the work you're trying to get done. Who's this? Paul Frost, welcome in. Daniel, welcome in. America's Favorite Order, welcome in, guys. Thanks for being in. As always, appreciate you dropping in, giving up some of your time on a Sunday to spend it with me. I'm just looking here to see what I have in this. Oh, yeah, that's okay. I was just wondering what that container was that I'd left there, bits of silver that I'm pulling apart. Anyone like a neodymium magnet? While we're on the subject, plenty of them from hard drives I was working on. They have to go now to be added to the pile that is ongoing being thing. Ooh, who do I see in the basement? I see E-Waste Mike. Welcome, sir. Harold, welcome in. Ralph Morrick, welcome in. Electronic Scrapper, welcome in.
I love you, Ralph.
And what about
and Leanne? Let me finish.
I was going to say, what about poor Leanne? Yeah, I said it ages ago to you.
I'm down.
We'd have to get a T-shirt done up. I love you, Mike. Wrote on it. You know that'd be something you could get done for your little. Yeah. You get T-shirts done, and people could buy them. Scrooge McDuckin, welcome in. He was America's Favorite Order was watching. I was watching Adelino fix his seat. Okay. Hey, Jeanette Pickering, good to see you. Thanks for coming in, Mike. I love you more than that pair put together. They're all Andy. Andy now is looking for your attention. Everyone wants a piece of Mike. That's all they do. Everyone wants a piece of Mike. Yeah.
It's hard to be me.
What's the pile looking like behind you, Mike? Have we got through it?
Watch the video.
Yeah. So obviously you've got through it. You put a dent in it. So
I ain't get through it, but I got a lot of it.
Okay, so says the title anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very tired today. Don't know why. Let me, Ralph Morrick, are you going to be on streaming games tonight? Let me guess. Is it going to be Minecraft by any chance?
Well, of course it is.
Has he gone to see the Minecraft movie yet? That's the question. Has he gone to see the Minecraft movie, and has he gone mad in the cinema like all the kids do, throwing their popcorn all over the place?
My granddaughter was not impressed with it. She said it was a waste of money.
Which, the movie?
Okay. Yeah, he's a Minecraft nut.
All right. Now, I like that. I was reading up on it, and well, not reading up. I seen a video, an article where some young guy that died, he was some big guy that was in it, and they put a little character in the movie as a little side note. Which is cool, I thought. Mike Smeltown, welcome in. Edge Weber, welcome in as well in the chat there. Scrapping, I think I said hi to Ralph. Oh, Claire P. Miss Claire P. Hi all, your camera working tonight, Mike?
This is my backup camera that's kind of crappy too. I got to buy a new camera. The one I used to use.
Together, welcome in.
It fell off the thing and hit the top of the metal bench here and shattered it.
I have seen the Minecraft movie 2 days ago, but he didn't see it in the cinema. Okay, and what's your verdict, Ralph Morrick? Does it get a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I think they're out more.
No problem, Anfield Road. Today with the grandkids, Paul Frost said. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, and everyone going into McDonald's looking for the meals just to get the toys to have them collected. But anyhow, let's get back to scrap prices. Never mind that old Minecraft movie. God damn that movie. Not the silliness. It was a fun kids movie. Beard Cam. Mike Smeltdown, how are you today?
Not too bad. How are you gentlemen doing? And I use that term loosely.
I was going to say you're a bit. I think you're in the wrong room. I'm all good, and I presume the e-waste Mike is all good because he's here, he's alive, he's with us, which is the main thing. Hey, Richard, welcome in. Last night, super hungover. Hey, the Shed Shop GNSP watching the scrapping Irish movie. What are you working on, James, in your shed at the moment? What are you trying to do? I just took some boards apart. I didn't do much e-waste this week at all. The weather was really good, so kind of just enjoyed it. Oh, we are honoured to have back in the basement and about to come on live. Haven't seen him in a while. Shark Scrapper.
I don't know about honoured.
And no echo Shark.
Hey, Shark, how you doing, sir?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm well, sir, and you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
Can't complain, and nobody will listen to me if I do.
You know, Irish, if I had an echo after everything that we went through this week trying to resolve it, I would just have to shove a sharp object in my eyeball.
Just in honor of your video you were showing your live there, you were talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the glasses are all turned in. Here we go. Oh,
It's a little crooked there.
hold on. Now, there we go. Always be safe.
Live stream safety.
Getting it off would be the issue. Oh. There we go. So, just in case you guys don't think I have a mask, I do. I have two. I have a full face one and one that just covers your mouth. So it depends on what I do. Sharky, I love your video about the silver mylars. Oh yeah, the silver mylar stuff. Yeah, actually, I was doing.
Well, thank you.
I was doing the silver mylars this week myself. I haven't done a video on it. I was just doing silver mylars. I was raking them there. I've just thrown them into the nitric acid, and then I'll be adding other bits of silver to it, and eventually drop the silver out. As I was taking apart keyboards, I was just putting the silver mylar straight into the nitric, and I'll be adding bits to it constantly. So people sometimes they say to me, "Oh, how many mylars or how many this or how many that?" I don't know, because I have copper chloride running, and I'll throw in some boards, and then I might take apart. I might do anything for another week, and then I might take apart some more boards and throw them in. And in the end, I don't know how many boards I've done. So I don't really do it for yields. I just do it to get the gold. Ian Matthews, the real Sir Ian Matthews. The only person that should be called Sir among us all is Ian Matthews. So welcome in, sir.
No, too much. The only person really among this group that deserves accolades is e-waste Mike. I was watching him. No, seriously, I was watching him in the Minecraft movie.
Hard movie to make, buddy. I'll tell you.
On Friday night, and my heart was bursting at his talent. But you really are Jack Black, aren't you? Really, in reality, you are, aren't you? Oh,
I can't divulge
Steve. Yes, Steve.
See what James P said? We should do a retirement show for Ian soon.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to put that off a little bit, because the president of the US of A didn't do my retirement fund a great deal of good.
Let's not get political now. We just say the tariffs. The tariffs haven't helped.
No, it's not. It's not. It's saying that the market said my pension fund was there, and now it's there. So now I have to continue working. Well, how can I say working? You know.
If you still retire and clean that shed, then it'll be there.
Yeah, if you got rid of all that stuff in your shed, you'd probably increase it a lot more.
I'm saving this for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what about you getting a roasted shirt?
Roasting.
A roast? Like a proper bit roasted. I was in here. I was like tempted to type some like keyboard warrior stuff.
Ian, here's the real question. Do you have insurance in case you die in the scrap-a-lanch?
No.
No.
Looking at that green screen behind you, Ian, there seems to be really not much disappearing out of it.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, let me guess. You picked some stuff up, so you can't put it in anymore.
Well, you have to watch the video to find out. But yeah.
Well, let's just say that the chances are that Ian was driving by somewhere and seen a rake of stuff, and his car boot is filled. So,
Well, not quite. I was driving.
Okay.
I was with my missus, and we drove past a garden centre, and she told me to fill my car full of plants, and I've had to spend all day green fingering. And I'm like,
the face on Shark when you said that, she didn't know what you were going to say.
they're like, you know, sticking things in the earth, and it's like, this is it. This ain't cleaning my shed out, you know, but it making the wife happy. Hey, you know,
Ian, I'm sorry, but making your wife happy green fingering just doesn't sound right.
listen, by the way, Shark, how do you go with your leak?
Oh, you getting out with your leak?
Why do you have leaks in the shed?
Well, apparently there's a bathroom upstairs.
Why do you have a leak in your bathroom?
Because some dumbass didn't plumb the shower right, but that's still different. Doesn't answer the question for why you have leaks in your shed.
Because the spring onions,
Just
spring, and they're springing up all over the place.
Well, what are you cooking up with them?
The thing is, the wife can't stand the smell of spring onions, so I have to keep them in the shed.
Well, did you see what All Handy Maid said there? Just popped in, and first thing I heard, as usual, Ian Matthews' excuse for the pile of SH1T behind him.
Well done. Yeah. Thank you, Guido.
I'll just remind you that Ian is obviously the most tech savvy person around here. He's got a green screen that he can actually interact with.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
All the big companies, Microsoft and Nvidia, and all these guys cannot come up with a green screen that you can take stuff out of when Ian Matthews done it in his shed.
We are not worthy.
We're not worthy.
Although, Shark Scrapper, I am quite impressed with yourself, to be honest, with your background. Not a Christmas tree in sight.
I should hope not.
We have a couple of months to go yet.
Hey, welcome in. Mike does stuff. That's another Mike. There's an awful lot of Mikes involved in YouTube stuff. There we have E-Waste Mike, Mike's Meltdown, and now Mike does stuff. So, welcome in.
It was a very popular name for a long time.
What, Mike?
Yes.
Or Michael, because really it's Michael, isn't it? Mike.
I don't know of anyone who is actually named Mike. We're all Michaels.
You're all Michaels, but you all just decided to change your name to Mike, and that was it.
Yep, it's just a short version.
Yeah. You know? But,
Anyway, I enjoyed listening to Shark's analysis of worth stuff is going. You know, it is interesting. You know,
Well, I have a question here now. Actually, this is a good question. I was looking at the charts there on the aluminium. Why was the aluminium at such a high price back in 2007 and 2008? Was it 2007, 2008? It was the highest it's been, aluminium. Like, what was the reason for it being so high back then? Does anyone know?
I can answer that.
Okay, please do.
At the particular time, there was a explosion, fire, whatever. A problem with the place that makes is it silica, something that goes in aluminium. So they couldn't produce this. No, it wasn't. It was to do with iron, actually. They needed this product that goes in iron, and the only good place they could find it was in cast aluminium, and they could extract it from cast aluminium. So the price of cast aluminium shot up. That's what the scrapyard told me.
Okay, because I was wondering when I seen when Shark put up the chart, and I was looking like, people were saying, the prices of aluminium, it's still higher than it was, 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked back and I seen it where it was so high, that got nearly at $4 what was it at there, Shark? I'm trying to make it bigger here, but I can't.
3,865 a ton.
Yeah. So 365 a kg, which was, I said, like, looking at the price, that was a great price. So that explains it. Thank you very much, Matt, for that.
That's what I was told. Because I went and weighed in, and like, wow, why is this? And I said, this is it, because some place you can't get the silica from, but silica is in cast aluminium, and they can extract it.
No.
That was the reason I was told.
Okay. I was just wondering when I seen that chart why it has dropped so much in the years since then to the current price, and I was thinking, like, because you'd see prices going up and down, but you wouldn't see them going that much of a drop down. Like once prices get up to a certain level, they might drop 20% below that or 20% above it, but they don't seem to, never do that much of a drop down, unless it's something that becomes obsolete altogether and people don't need anymore.
I don't like interrupting, but anyways, Mike, my brother, is that the same thing you was working on last week?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like, how slow are you?
Yeah, I work on a little bit and then I put on the side to do later. It's my to do later. Because I ain't got nothing to do, so I gotta,
See, I know somebody like Shark Scrapper. Irritating at a party moment.
Yeah, but Shark's an idiot.
Also a thing, very nice cast, but apparently. Okay, there we go. So,
hey, hello, Ralph.
Mike, you always say the nicest things about me.
Well, I call it as I see it,
But I think gold is going to, because Shark put something up again during the week on a short, I think it was, on about the gold prices and stuff. And I put a comment that I think gold is going to rise. And I still think gold is going to rise it could be another 5% before the end of the summer, I think. Because I think with the dollar beginning to drop, and again, this is not being political, not being about anything, it's just about what's happening in the world. So with tariffs and the dollar weaker, people are looking for a safe haven for their money, and gold, I think, is where they're going to invest into. And I think I'm no financial advisor. Don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm giving advice, but I think gold is going to go up again. I think we could see gold at $3,500 before the end of the year. I think. Now, I could be proven wrong, but I think we'll get to that price. Up here. What's this, Shark?
They're saying that in the next 12 months, it should get up to 3,406 months.
I think it's going to get a bit higher than that, I think, within the next 12 months. I think it's going to be over 3.5.
It's entirely possible. I wouldn't disagree with you on that.
Yeah. I think it will. I think it's still going to increase a bit more. So that means your board prices and stuff like that should increase again later on in the year. if now again things could change completely, and
Whoa! Oh, hey, Shark! Iris is gone.
no, we're all gone because this is StreamYards is doing this lately. I have to put everyone back on individually. I have to do this other button, and I have to do. Who am I missing?
Mike?
Mike's meltdown.
Mike's meltdown. Okay, let me put him back. There we go. For some reason, when I put a chart, when the chart is put up and I remove the chart, sometimes it knocks everyone off. I don't know why.
Right, so we've got to. I mean, it always puzzles me when I see this on the scrap chats and everywhere. America's favourite order. You're scrapping, and he's got some silver-coloured brass plugs, pins, and do they go in as brass? I mean, what have you got in America? We've just got brass. It's either yellow brass or it's silver brass, but it's brass.
And are both prices the same for you, Ian, on your brass? Because I know some places they give a lower price on the silver coloured brass, which is white brass, they call it.
I throw all mine in the same tub, so I just get.
Well, Ian, a lot of it depends on the sophistication of your yard. Some yards will just, they're just going to have one category brass. Other yards are a bit more sophisticated, and they'll separate red brass and yellow brass and, various alloys, and they'll even have an XRF gun to test it before you bring it in. So much of it depends on the yard that you're selling it to over here.
And the reason that the silver plating is there, if I'm remembering correctly, it's nickel, and it's a anti-corrosion protection.
Yeah. And what said there, like Scrooge McDuckin says, plumbing pipe brass is different from yellow in his area. So again, there will be certain places will have different scrapyards, will have different prices for thing. But here in Ireland, like even just the aluminium in scrapyards here in Ireland, it's the same price. No matter if I bring in cast aluminium, sheet aluminium, except for aluminium cans. I'll give you some of the yards won't even take them now, because most people recycle them with this new return scheme we have here. So that's really killed off the aluminium cans recycling in the scrapyards. So the aluminium here, it's the same price. So I think what the scrapyards look at here in Ireland is what is the cheapest aluminium at the time. So if sheet aluminium is the cheapest, that's the price you're getting for all aluminium. Or if cast is the cheapest, or if extruded is the cheapest, that's all they give you.
It's like my yard with 7 different categories of aluminium. You've got alley cans, you've got old rolled, you've got cast alley, you've HE9, you've sheet alley. But the price difference between them, it ain't a great deal anyway.
Well, not for us, not for the small scrappers, but if you're a big scrapper and you're bringing tons of stuff in at a time, then it is a bit different. Like if you're 10 cent difference on a ton, it could be 100 quickly,
And Andy past the ducks says my yard takes alley cans as any alley. I don't get a bit. I weighed some alley cans in a bit back. I got £250 a ton, 25 pence a kilogram. I'm a little disappointed. I keep supping these. I don't get the return on them that I should do.
Well, you see here in Ireland, that can now, well, you can't see it because of the green screen, but that can is worth 15 cents. That's what we get back. So we get 15 cents back for recycling.
But you pay 15 cents on it to get it?
Yes, unless you're getting cans where people throw them at. Still some people don't bother bringing the cans back for recycling. So I do see people picking up cans off the street, and they're sporting events, stuff like that. People will go into a sporting event and they might get 4 or 5 cans. They're not going to carry them cans all the way back to wherever to get their 15 cents and just leave them where they're there, and people collect them and they get the money for them. Took in cans only once long ago. I got shred price, so there you go. You only got shred price for it. So different. In America, you have a lot more choice. I know the ads do a lot more categories than they do here in Ireland, and UK is even better than Ireland on the amount of categories you get. Here in Ireland, they kind of, especially on aluminium and stuff like that, it's just the one category and that's it.
Oh, Scrooge McDuck, what are you sitting on them for? They're eating space, man.
Yeah, well, I think he means if he was getting 15 cents a can, he's on a gold mine. We got numerous categories for aluminium. 6063. What's the story with stainless steel in scrapyards? How did the scrapyards categorize the stainless steel in your scrapyard?
I weighed in on Friday, got £650 a ton, or 65 pence. What's that weighing in America? 30 cents a pound.
Okay.
Here for stainless, if it's magnetic stainless, it goes into shred. If it's non-magnetic stainless, it goes in as stainless. But they don't typically, the yards don't have XRF guns handy to try and scan it to figure out what type of stainless it is or what type of aluminum it is. You know, they don't have the time for that.
Okay, because I seen someone was saying that some video I was watching before, and he separates a steel because he gets a different price for like 316 and 605 or whatever steel. You get a different price, and he separates it out. And I was thinking, how does he know which steel is? How do you know if your stainless steel is 605 or 316 or unless you have a gun? You know,
like I said, unless you got an XRF gun handy, I have no clue.
Unless you know where it's coming from, like so.
Yeah. This guy was separating it out, and I couldn't figure how he was working out. Well, that's 316 steel, and that's whatever. Because I was looking at it, thinking they both look the same to me. I don't see, and he had no gun. So unless he already knew where it was coming from, as you said, Ian.
Yeah, if it's coming from an hospital.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, he could be like, wasn't it? Who was it that used to be able to just taste? Let's see. There was this lady that we know.
Everyday Solders.
She used to lick windows. Then she started licking brass.
Are you guys
at the moment?
Are you guys familiar with the show Home Improvement?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember the episode where I forget the assistant's name, where he was identifying woods by smell?
No, I don't remember seeing that one. But it was a long time since I've seen Home Improvements now. It must be 20 years since I watched Home Improvements or more.
Well, Tim was handing him the pieces of wood, and he was smelling it and getting it, telling you what kind of wood it was, and he was right. And finally, he gave him one piece of wood that had a sock on it, one of his old socks. And so, needless to say, he did not get that one right, but it was very humorous.
Notice project steel and aluminium steel has shot up in price. Well, you see, that's the tariffs probably on the steel and aluminum coming in from different places. It's this tariffs that have pushed the price up there on that. But has anyone noticed, has steel prices gone up in the scrapyards? Because if you're paying more for imported steels and aluminium, surely the scrapyards are going to be given more for recyclable stuff. So it can be, I'm just wondering, has shred prices gone up? Has steel prices gone up? Anyone noticed?
Can't answer,
well,
to be honest.
The counter, that's a very logical argument, but the counter to that is that if industry is cutting back on making stuff, they're not going to need as much steel, and so the prices are going to stay low. Yeah. So it's going to be a weird twist as this plays out.
Okay.
Well, the other aspect to it is contracts. Usually these major manufacturers have contracts well in advance, so they may have enough steel to last the next 6 months on contracts.
Yeah, well, Andy was saying she got 12p a kilo for basic steel last week, and it's up from 9.5p the week before. So that was an increase there. So maybe it's beginning to filter in bit by bit. What is the projection is for shred to drop by about $20 a ton. So different parts of the world again will have different problems with their steel. Maybe Europe might see an increase, America might see a decrease, China, God knows what's going to happen there. It has thrown whether you're for the tariffs or against the tariffs, it has thrown the whole market upside down on pricing at the moment.
Right.
People aren't sure where things are heading. You know.
So can I throw something out to the whole panel and the chat? I'm a hobbyist scrapper. You know, I love scrapping. I do it not necessarily for the money. I just get the money as part of what I do. However, the prices have dropped so low that I'm now coming into my shed saying I'd sooner do my garden than do any scrapping. So how does the prices affect you lot?
Well, hold on here a second, Ian, right? You're saying the price have dropped so low.
Yeah.
5 years ago when you were doing this and you were stripping you were bringing them to the scrapyard, the price was not lower.
I can go back 40 years when I used to get 50 pence.
Yeah, but five years ago, you were getting, what were you getting, we'd say, for brass? You were probably getting 40 cents kg less than you are now.
I say you can't use that argument. 20 years ago, I was getting 50 pence pound for brass.
If you're getting it for free, you can use that argument. Now, if you're buying it, I can't use that.
No, does scrap affect you? No. No, I can tell you. Travelers won't be going out doing the streets if the price drops too low. They'll end up going cutting trees, doing gardening and stuff, because it's not with them driving round trying to pick it up at, 9 pence a kilogram. So what I'm saying is, how's it affecting you guys? How, to me, I've come in here and gone, bollocks, I'll sooner go and do my garden than...
Well, it doesn't really affect me because I get my stuff for free, so it doesn't affect me. Yeah, so like anything I make is more than I had before I done it. So it's as a hobby, it's not going to make a difference to me. It's go in and do an hour in the evening, scrapping something out if I want to or whatever. Gold prices have gone up, so that doesn't really, because it means any gold I'm getting is still higher. Anyhow, but any brass or anything like that I get, I'm not too bothered. It won't stop me doing it because I'm a hobbyist. Now, anyone doing it as a living, so this would come over to Mike and Shark really on this, they'd have tougher decisions to make. So over to one of you two guys.
Well, the good news is that gold is going up. And most of what I deal with and most of what Mike deals with is gold-bearing material. So when we sell those things to Board Sword or whatever buyer we're using, the prices are good and strong right now. So we're doing okay. And in my case, the shred steel that, the cases and things like that, I just had to get them out of the shark cage because they take up space. So, I would take a truckload of cases in, and whatever I make on them, I make on them. I got to get them out of the way because they're taking up space. So, yeah, it's a little bit less cash flow when the prices go down. And if the same thing was to happen with gold-bearing material, then I would be in real trouble because that's where my real money is. So it's not affecting me too terribly bad at this point because I am mostly focused on computers, electronic scrap, and the gold-bearing material from them. Mike, what do you say?
I agree with Shark.
Yeah. How about the other Mike?
You heard that first, right here. You heard it. You heard him say it.
What about Mike's meltdown? What's his story on the metals and stuff? Because he gets his brass, his copper, and all that as well, I'm presuming. So what's your story, Mike?
I'm actually in pretty much the same boat as you, Irish, because I'm doing this as a hobby for fun. I don't pay for anything. I've got a couple places that call and I pick up from regularly now. And other than that, I just am looking out on Facebook Marketplace for people getting rid of broken TVs and things of that nature. So yeah, I don't pay for anything, and any recovery that I get from it is going to a hobby And the only thing that I really sold so far is the steel shred.
Well, I look at it as a hobby that pays for itself. The way I see it, it's a hobby that pays for itself. Any money I get, it pays for the hobby, and that's kind of it. It's not like I'm going to get rich off it or anything like that. I enjoy doing it. It's a hobby, and it pays for itself. Like the guys now in the chat, they're like, see you scrapping, and William, they're bigger into that stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what they had to say on it. So let's just see what they're saying on it. If they have anything to say there on it, they might have had anything to say. What does Steve Scrappen say? No, let me go down here.
Look at Scrooge McDuckin's comment a little bit up in the chat there.
Let me go back up to Scrooge. How far up do I need to go, do you think, Shaw? This one is a price drop. Is that one?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, so price drops makes the day scrappers and cord clippers stay in, so it helps me get my... Yeah, so again, anyone that was doing it because copper prices were high and they were driving by and they were cutting cords off and cherry picking the good stuff, into the big scrappers, they were missing out on them. So now they're deciding, you know what, it's not worth driving around, just cut cords off and just down. So that does help out the big scrapper. So it's interesting to see what they see you scrapping on them guys. So guys, what are you saying in there? See you scrapping on the guys that do it for a living, full time. Let us know what you're finding out there. By the way, welcome in. Who did I see? What's called Mike Joe says he gets all his scrap for free. Go through Merchant Metals, welcome in. Good to see you too. Moved 3 pounds last week. Yeah, so Ian, you how are you faring out now? Because we know you buy some of your scrap because you buy some of the electrical. No. You have to answer the question, okay? So you we'd say have to whatever. Have you explained to the people if you right? Let's just put it this way. Say you were buying off someone, Ian.
Oh yeah, buying someone.
Yes. Do you go to that person now and do you have to explain to them, well, look at the price has dropped, so the price you were getting on the wire off me would say it was 3, we'll just pick a figure, we say £3 a kg you were given for it. I'm not saying that's anything. So do you go to him and say, well, look at now the most I can give you is £2.50 a kg, or do you just take a lower margin now if you were doing it? What happens?
I'm going to say I take a lower margin when it's higher, yes.
Okay.
It's enough to me to keep him happy and keep me happy.
What you scrapping? What I was wondering is how are you finding it with the prices dropping out there? Do you find that there's less day scrappers out there, hobbyist scrappers picking stuff up, and is it something that you're finding hard to get scrap, or there's a lot more scrap available for you? That's one of the positives, I suppose. If the price went down for the guys that, like Scrooge McDuckin said, there'd be a lot more scrap still left for the bigger boys. Then the boys that are doing it as a living, because the hobbyist isn't going to drive around cutting cords off vacuum cleaners or microwaves or whatever.
This is Ian. This is Ian. When it comes to buying.
He probably has 2 wallets, one full and one empty. He always carries the empty one. Oh, I ain't got no money.
The last time now I have to say it, the last time I was in the UK, and Ian brought me out and he brought me to a place and we got coffee and we got cakes and desserts and everything. Now the only thing was when he opened the wallet, there was a cloud of dust that settled on everything. It took them an hour to clean the amount of dust off everything. Just the amount of dust that came out of that wallet.
Well, that definitely explains his coffee he's been having.
I have several times for free. One guy I paid $1 a laptop, $2 a desktop, $5 a cell phone. That guy gets huge amounts. Okay.
I I'll point out, if you're looking for a source to get regular amounts from, reach out to you can usually find in most relatively decent sized cities a moving company that moves people from one location, one house to another. And they'll also do trash pickup. They'll help clean out somebody's house, for example. Those guys are often breaking large screen TVs. They have to replace them, but they don't have anything they don't have a need. They don't have any way of disposing for it easily. So you become their disposal person for electronics. The last pickup I did, 4 desktop PCs, a couple flat screen TVs, 1 PRT monitor.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that kind of stuff.
Well, what you was saying there, see you scrapping, being a college town, competition is always fierce. Although working part-time for a scrapyard, I do notice a slowdown in the business when prices go down. Okay, so there we go. So not as many hobbyist scrappers out there picking stuff up.
Mike, that's a very interesting potential client. I hadn't thought of them before, but it makes perfectly good sense. So I might make some phone calls this week.
Yep.
I used to have a guy. He had one of these where you can rent the trailer and they throw all the trash in it, and then he'd come and haul it away. I still have them. I just don't use them anymore. When I was doing all the motors and stuff, I used to buy motors off them for like 20 cents a pound, and motors at the scrapyard were like 36, 37.
Yeah, because it was handy for him to have someone there like that, because he was making his money on the other stuff he was doing, and then he was making this as a bit of a bonus to send it to you, and he didn't have to do anything. You went and collected the stuff and all that sort of stuff, so that can help out, Yeah.
And I could still get a hold of them. I get too much other crap going on. Like I went the other day and I bought those transformers from the scrapyard, and just to show you how low coppers went, it went from 73 cents a pound for a transformer to 65. So that's 8 cents.
Oh, Richard.
So I raked it in. I did like a little over 900 pounds of transformers. That's my backup. Ian, you got to have that backup when times get slow.
I've just been reading these comments and I'm just stunned. It's like Patrick Williams, for example. Now, if you've been watching Patrick Williams, every night he's been banging out a video. I've stripped this, I've stripped this, I've stripped this. And he even put a comment, Ian, I'll come round and I'll clean your shed out within a week. Says, Ian, my shed is now like yours.
Yes, it happens. It happens.
Sometimes it just comes in quicker than you can deal with it.
Ian, I have 2 sheds that look like yours now. He must have opened his wallet again. The dust is getting down into his throat.
Oh, don't ask me where this cough come back again from.
This is one of my cousins as well. Rudy has a junk hauling business and rinse his dumpsters. He will clean the metal out so he doesn't have to pay for landfill for it and gives it to me. Yeah, there we go. So, well, that's why the likes of, as Ian has always said, when he goes by and he sees a dumpster outside someone's yard, if you ask them, can you have some stuff out, they're glad for you to take some of the stuff because they're paying by weight a lot of the time. So if they can get more into that, so you're clearing stuff out, it means they're not going to be having to pay as much to get rid of it. So if you're taking some of the stuff away for them, they're going to be happy.
America's favorite reporter mentioned auto repair shops. Yes, call them. The worst they can do is say no. They may already have somebody that comes and hauls stuff away from them, or may pay them a little bit of money to haul it away. But the worst they can do is say no. So yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Like what does it matter if they say no to you? You hadn't got the stuff in the first place. So if they say no, it doesn't make any difference. If they say yes, aren't you on a winner? So there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. They can only say no.
Yeah. I had one of those junk hauling companies in Florida that the guy said, hey, let's work together. And I'm like, yeah, cool. That's great. And I went out there and he wanted me to pay him for the stuff he was taking out of his dumpsters. And I said, well, don't you get charged by the weight? And he said, yeah. I said, so it's to your benefit for me to just take this stuff. Why would I pay you for it And he said,
Yeah.
well, because I know you're going to make money on it. And I said, yes, but that's not my question.
Yeah. Well,
It's
he was
going to
gonna
cost you money.
To get rid of it.
And he, he was insistent that I pay him. And I just said, all right, I'm not going to. It's like, it was just at that point, it may not have been the best business decision on my part, but at that point, it was just like, if you're going to be such a tightwad that you want me to pay you for something that you're going to have to pay to get rid of anyway,
Yeah.
then go ahead and pay to get rid of it. I don't care.
Well, yeah, that's the way I look at it. If someone says to me, as I say, if it ain't free, it ain't for me. Simple as. If it's not free, it ain't for me. If people go to me, some people will send me emails and they say, "Oh, I've got 10 computers. How much will you give me for them?" And I just write back, "Keep them." That's all I write back. I don't even bother engaging. I just go keep them. I don't even try to explain to them, because if they think that I'm going to buy 10 computers off them or whatever as a hobbyist, I just write back, keep them. Now, I have met a good contact in Nigeria who wants to send me, 17,000 tons of computers? Well, all I have to do first is only send him $1,000 for shipping, and he's going to send 17,000 tons of computers. And I'm just on my way to put the money into the shipping firm now.
Tell him I said hi. I'm the guy that sent him over to you. I gave him your address.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Can you read that date?
11, 08, 06.
06.
06.
19 years. Is it under them heat sinks? Is it all gold BGAs? Is it gold corner BGAs?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't take them off anymore, so it don't matter.
what do you mean you don't take them off?
Huh?
What do you mean you don't take them off? Do you not have to take them off to send them to board sort or whoever?
No,
So,
I don't.
Irish don't believe him.
I don't
He
take
doesn't take it off on camera because we mentioned it.
When he stops here at night, he micro scraps until midnight.
Ian, you might, but I was up till 6 o'clock yesterday morning micro scrapping.
I
6 a.m.
I don't.
Well, Mike, there is some
I don't take them off.
No, but what I'm saying to you is underneath the aluminium was it gold corner BGAs? That's what I was asking you.
Oh, I thought you meant, do I take these off?
No. I'm saying under them aluminium heat sinks was a gold corner BGAs that was under them. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, Mike, listen.
And by the way, we were also saying that the worst thing that somebody can say is no, unless you call Mike and ask him, because he's going to say no and then mock you.
How can I listen to him when your mouth don't shut up so I can hear what he's saying? I still love you, buddy, but shut up.
My local pawn shop, massively underutilized resorts, get so much free stuff. Okay, I didn't know that pawn shops would be, because most of the stuff they've in their pawn shop they've paid for. But it's unusual for them to give stuff away.
What sort of pawn shop?
I guess maybe occasionally they break stuff.
Yeah, could be that.
This board does not. It has the metal cap ones.
Oh.
You guys know flat screen TVs are easy to mess up.
And I suppose now again, if some of these shops had old CRTs, they know they're never going to sell them. So, and they're taking up space, so they have to do something with them. And a lot of the time they'll have to pay to get rid of them. So if you're willing to take them away for free to scrap out the copper and stuff, I'm sure they'll give them to you. Another thing over here is charity shops. Here in Ireland, charity shops can no longer take electronic devices because the charity shop is where someone would donate something, and then you can go in and it's like a Goodwill in America. But so they can no longer take like TVs, VCRs, but some people might still leave them outside the shop and not realizing they're not allowed to take them anymore because they can't resell in Ireland. You can't resell anything electronic unless you can give a certificate to say it's been tested fully and is compliant with all laws that on electronics. So if I was to sell a laptop out of a shop that was, say, a charity shop, they can't test it and say, because it's not new, so they don't know if the person that goes home and plugs it in it could burn the house down. That makes them liable. So they will not sell anything like that anymore. So if you contact your local charity shops here in Ireland, anyhow, they'd be glad for you to take away that stuff, because they'd be given it. And what some people do, I know scrappers that do it, and what they do then is give a donation to the charity shop every year. So they might give €100 to the charity shop at the end of the year if they've got enough stuff off them as a donation, and the charity shop is glad that they got rid of the stuff out of their way. So that's another thing here in Ireland, anyhow. Welcome in, Terry. Good to see you.
I've just been reading Patrick Williams' comments. Now, Patrick's just done a whole series about taking a washing machine apart, the control board, and getting all the gold off it. And then he puts, the last one he's opened, filled full of epoxy, and he's gone, oh, flipping heck.
Yeah, well, Ian had an issue with a board with loads of jelly stuff in it at one stage.
I've still got it. He's still in it.
Jabba Junkie, welcome in.
One day.
Partner,
Hey, Parky.
welcome in. Terry, welcome in. Was there anyone else I missed? If I missed anyone coming in, I do apologise. Sorry for not. But sometimes you get caught up in the chat and we miss what's happening on the side there.
Well, and because you are, a viral YouTube star, there's so many new names coming in, it's hard to keep track.
Oh, viral, yeah, right.
Well,
as I said to Ian, Ian had a viral video last year. He had the one on the, was it last year you had that grinder video that went, how many did that end up getting into the first?
Yeah, that was Grinder. That was a different video.
You were up on Grindr?
Yeah, that was different. That was a different video. Yeah.
No, that was Ian. That was the one in the hotel video.
Yeah, I honestly, mate, I saw Shirk and he said, like, he's like, anyway, I 36,000 views on this. He's like, and I'm like, oh, Shirk, yeah, come on, grow up, man.
Ian has like 100,000 nearly on his video, I'd say. How many have you on that video now, Ian?
I've not checked. I don't know. It's history. That history.
Oh, how many had you when it took off for you?
He did 100,000 in a week.
There you go. Like that's what you call a.
That's why it's like
viral.
that. But never.
All right, Irish, you suck. Forget what I said.
Ian just pushed my bubble.
Yeah, no kidding. You suck, man.
Somebody's put ears. Show us your sexy feet. Hang on.
What? Who asked to see your feet? America's favorite hoarder. America's favorite hoarder. I think you're on the wrong website.
I'll show you the Crocs. And it's not just any Crocs, because if you zoom in, they got Star Wars things on.
There you go.
Is that's for safety in case you drop something on your foot?
Pat test, I think it is. That's it. Pat tests. You have to have to certify your stuff like that. Well, pat tests are more for the business themselves. Every shop here has to have a pat test done on their electrical works every so often. But no regulation in Ireland is that if you're reselling something at a shop, I could resell it as a person individually. Then it's not. But as a business, if you're selling a product, you have to be able to offer a year's warranty. You have to be sure that the product will work. That it is not. It has a CE test done, as in it's approved. So if people are leaving stuff in at charity shops, they don't know if it's where they got it, whether it's working, whether it's not working. If it plugs in, will it go on fire? Grandpa Kevin, welcome in as well. So that's the reason charity shops are a good source here in Ireland for electronic devices, because they cannot resell them anymore. One time they could have their DVD players and televisions there, and they could put a little price on them, and people are going to buy them because they were like a third of the price of what you pay in the shop. But anymore they can't.
So any of you lot get something electrical in, you switch it on and test it. Just in case.
No.
Just in case.
No. Why would you? Why? If I got a DVD player in, why would I want to test if it works? Who am I going to use it? No, I'm not. Am I going to resell it? No, I'm not. So what am I going to do with it? Scrap
Yeah,
it
I
out.
suppose you got an electric lawnmower.
No,
Why? You're not going to lawn?
I have, but I have a lawnmower already. Why would I want a second one?
Well, it might break.
And the sky might fall down on top of me, and the satellite might come down and burn my house down. Do I have a second house? No, I don't. So, like, you just deal with what happens. You don't think about.
You don't have a second
You
house?
know what? The lawnmower might. I might need a second lawnmower. Oh no, hold on. I might need a third because the second one might break down. Oh, hold on. I better get a fourth one. You know, that's where it leads. Ian.
That's when you build. That's when you build a second shed.
It leads to there, Ian. Like,
But
Irish,
third-
how many, let me see, what have you got in behind there? Let me see, what can we see behind you that we can ask you how many of them do you have?
Nothing. However, in a secret shed, I've 2 push mowers, 2 electric mowers, 2 electric scarifiers, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's too many.
So you've got 2 push mowers and 2 electric mowers. Are the electric mowers not push mowers?
No,
Sounds right.
well, kind of.
So they're riding mowers then.
No,
No, see, they're motorized. You pull the lever and they'll pull you along.
That's still a push mower to me.
Arrow.
well, a
A
push,
walk, fine. You've got 2 walk behind mowers and 2 electric motors. Are the electric motors not also walk behind mowers?
But they're not, you know, but
yeah, but a push mower's more energetic.
yeah. Welcome in, US Jill. Who else?
But anyway, back to the thrift stores. The only thing that our local thrift stores won't take are CRT TVs and monitors because those can't sell them, and they can't sell them because nobody wants them, and they have to pay to have them disposed, so they don't take them normally.
Okay.
Category.
Yeah.
Everything else they'll take and sell.
Yeah, no, here because
I don't know about that, Mike. I tried to sell them a toilet that we had to replace here, and they refused to take that toilet.
Well, it's because it was a shitty toilet.
Hey, you know, Jack, we've been committed. Believe it or not, over here, you need planning permission to turn your lawn into pavement because we're having that much water runoff. It's flooding the system. So they're saying all houses that can have grass should have grass.
Okay, that's something new because over here now we don't have that. You can concrete your lawns or pave your lawns.
Ireland's all bogland anyway. What does it matter?
Oh my God, where is that button gone? Oh, what happened?
Yeah, but seriously, you want to turn your drive, which is grass. No, you got to turn the front of your house, which is grass, into a drive. No, you have to apply for planning. It's hard over here, honestly. Hard. I wish I was in the EU. Never.
Let's not go down that road, Ian. Let's not go down that road. But Ian stay in the basement.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Lee.
Got a blanket like Raphael. Okay, I don't know what that is either. Sometimes.
Get a bucket. Can you not read?
Oh, sorry. Get a bucket. Sorry, I said blanket. I looked over. I said blanket. Get a bucket.
I don't
You know,
understand.
I'm less concerned about Ian having 2 or 3 lawnmowers and such. I'm still trying to understand why he needs 17,000 fuses.
Yeah, I know. And he keeps asking us for more. So if anyone has any spare fuses, please send them to Ian Matthews. Don't know why he wants them, but if you have them, send them to him.
From the Great Reset, I'll be the man for fuses.
The Great Reset. Oh,
Look at Ian. Look what I have here for you. Would you like some fuses?
Depends. Would you like some gold?
Gold.
Gold.
I thought you'd given up collecting gold e-wasting.
No, I'm collecting it for you.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay, so in there, right, gents, is probably something worth probably about 50 cents.
Yeah, probably.
I know a guy who'll give me a bottle of whiskey worth 50 quid just for that.
Good trade.
As long as I don't run up some steps doing like no, wrong. Come on.
Oh,
It's the same.
They're just after saying Evidisaurus is not live tonight. Oh, I didn't know that. She's away. Okay, so I seen her video up, and I see a video that she had a video lined up. I thought it was for tonight, so it's not till tomorrow. Okay.
so I've actually.
Guy Teller has a question on the fuses. Is the wire that's going through them silver? I think the end caps are plated in silver in some cases.
In some cases, they're plated in silver at the end, but that's it. Not all fuses, and especially not them small ones I had there in my hand. They're not plated with any silver. They're just the ones that are inside our normal household plug that plugs into the wall appliances. No silver in them.
So Ian, here's one for you. Let's see, isn't it Jägermeister that puts gold flakes in the bottle?
Yes.
So what we need to do is we need to reach out to Jägermeister and tell them instead of using gold flakes, they should perhaps be using gold fingers or gold-plated pins, or we might be onto something there.
Hey, I seen a video where some guys got the bottle of Jägermeister, filtered out the gold flakes, melted and bought it to a pawn shop to see what they could get for the gold out of it. So
I saw that.
Yeah, so they
Oh, it's Goldschlager, not Jägermeister. We're getting in the
Oh,
chat.
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I did watch that video where they did that and they took it to a pawn shop and it was a lot less.
Oh, I watched this other guy's video where he went from one pawn shop to another pawn shop just to lose money. Obviously, he went in and bought silver rounds in one pawn shop, and he had to pay the price of the thing plus the premium or whatever. And then he went across the road to the other pawn shop and sold them for a $10 loss. You're like, what?
But how much did he make on his video?
How did Mike disappear off the screen? I'd like to put him back up.
He's
there
talented.
Because I was checking everything dollars, and next thing I came back and Mike is gone. I just go, where's Mike gone?
Is that the same board he was working on last week?
2 weeks ago, he told you.
What kind of alcohol is Goldschlager? Is that a vodka or is that moonshine? What is that?
Cinnamon liqueur.
Oh, okay.
Cinnamon schnapps. And at $10 a bottle or $11, $12 a bottle, I don't think there's much gold in there at all anymore.
No. No.
Well, one's got to wonder at the amount of gold being wasted in the world.
Oh, but imagine how much gold is in landfill back from the 80s of all the computers that were thrown away. Because people back then, just their electronics, there was no such thing as e-waste recycling, really. It was very small scale, and everything just got sent to landfills. back in the 80s, everything went to landfill. There was no recyclable bins, there was no e-waste bins, there was none of that carry on. So most people, when their electronic device broke, it went into the bins, trucks. They came, took it, brought it to landfill, buried it. So there's tons of gold buried in landfill.
That is history, isn't it? You can go way back in history and say every time they buried somebody, they buried chunks of gold with them. I mean, presently, how much gold is being wasted in putting gold in alcoholic drinks, putting gold in gold wafers around a chocolate, which, ingested, you're going to shit it out. You're never going to recover that.
We're not?
Yeah, and what
What do you
about
mean?
that?
I get a pump attached to my septic system.
And what about that restaurant where is it they cover the meat in the gold foil and you eat the meat with the gold and stuff like that? Yeah, true enough, Ian. There's a lot of that is just never. It's just waste, as you say. All that gold gone into that alcohol drinks. How much is that? How much would they use a year? Be interested to know how much gold.
Yeah, but it's like that. You're saying, they probably used only tiny micrograms per bottle.
Yeah.
How many millions of bottles are they using?
Yeah. Interesting point, Ian. Very interesting point.
You know, that gold is gone. It's not recoverable.
You have gold plating on certain things that people don't realize it's gold plating that's on it, and they just throw them away. They're never recycled because they didn't realize it was gold plating. They just thought it wasn't.
Talking about the philosophical thing, how much gold are we wasting? On a long enough timeline, none, because it's all going to get recycled by the earth regardless.
But I mean, true enough, eventually it all ends up back in the earth. Everything ends up back in the earth, but it's stuff that we won't see.
You really want to be mindful. Where did all come from?
But I have said on many occasions. I have said on many occasions that I really think that landfills are the gold mines of the future.
Oh yeah,
gold and precious metals mines of the future.
Yeah, but it's not just that. The amount of copper that's in them, landfills alone, as well, because silver, and silver. But copper, especially copper, was more abundant. Copper was used everywhere in the 80s. And it was just thrown away because it wasn't as dear or as expensive as it is now. So as we need more copper down the years, it's going to be something that people are going to have to look at. Do we start digging up these landfills to try and get the copper out of there?
I've seen numbers where they say that over 50% of the silver that has ever been mined has gone into landfills, waste material. It has been lost.
Yeah.
Gold, it's something like 10% has been lost.
Well, I watched Cody's lab, who he swept up all the sweepings at the side of the freeway for about a mile to reclaim the platinum. All right, and he got so much platinum, but he's saying by assay, it was something like, I'll just stick a figure, 6%. He said, if the mining corporations could find an ore which was 6%, they'd be over the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
the same with gold.
Pins at the side of the road for the platinum that was the exhausts of motor cars.
But I told you the BBC done the same thing with gold. They had a ton of gold ore, and they had a ton of mobile phones, and the mobile phones had far more gold in them.
Yeah.
So they were saying like it was more economical to recycle the phones for the gold than it was to get the ore.
Do you know why ore lays in layers under the ground?
No, go on.
Because the Earth is flat.
Mike, my hero.
Yeah, except that the layers aren't flat.
Oh, Oh,
Oh,
I walked into that one. Churches off balance because of lost gold.
I suspect, though, that we will probably never see landfills mined in our lifetime, because along with the gold and the silver and the copper, there's also really nasty stuff in the leachate that comes out of those landfills. And the environmental risks associated with digging into that stuff.
Yeah, and that's our lifetime. No.
The profit that you might take out of it.
In 1,000 years' time, that they don't have technology to do it. That's what I'm saying. Eventually, they will. It's like anything. Stuff that we're doing now, you couldn't do 50 years ago because it wasn't economical or it wasn't whatever. Technology moves on, and there will be different ways of doing stuff. So, and as
I said our lifetime, not Ralph Morrick's lifetime, because Ralph Morrick is an alien from another planet, so he'll still be here 1,000 years from now. So,
here we go. This is like more flat Earth stuff. With the age of Earth, the gold we are harvesting now could have been taken from landfills from civilizations unknown to us that have disappeared. So maybe the aliens that came down put the gold here first. This could be the gold we're digging up. Could be their jewelry they were wearing.
but if you get to the point where you're saying they need to recycle such rare materials, in 1,000 years' time, we could possibly be bringing asteroids in that have trillion tons of gold.
Well, again, America are already looking at that. NASA has been looking at that asteroid that's been flying around that has enough gold on it to make everyone on Earth billionaires overnight. But it'll make gold worthless. But there's enough gold there that could solve all the problems forever, all the electronics that will ever be made for the next 1,000 or 2,000 years. There'll be enough gold on that alone. Do all that.
Well, I've always said diamonds are worthless. Diamonds are only useful as abrasives or maybe like in lasers. But sticking on a ring to somebody.
Gold has no value other than being a electrical conductor.
Yeah. It's what value people put on stuff eventually. Is what like De Beers was the ones that made diamonds so expensive. They made it that their advertising and if you look through how diamonds became so expensive, De Beers are the company that caused diamond prices to be what they are. You know, so it's the same with gold, as in for jewelry and stuff. It's of no reason. Well, I suppose as jewelry, it doesn't degrade. It always keeps the same stuff like that. It's used, but the real use for gold is it doesn't for oxidize when it's used in electronics. That's where it's valued.
If you was to go back 100 years, aluminium was more expensive than platinum
and gold.
Yeah, because they had no use for the platinum.
So because they didn't know how to extract aluminium from.
Yeah, we didn't know how to refine it.
So it was very, very expensive to do so. So they made jewelry out of aluminium because it was so rare, so expensive. And now, you make foil out of it, wrap your body.
Yeah, there was some aluminium dome put on something years back in the whenever, and they were saying like at the time it was such a thing to do because it was so hard to get the aluminium, and that's why it was just such an expensive thing to do. Someone had a flat Earth thing here. TR. The Earth is flat, more land beyond yours touching has covered every life.
Yes, my hero.
This is all Mike's fault. He's brought in all the flat earthers now. They're all in.
Listen, I can prove it. You just take one of these, and put it on the ground, and I'm telling you, it will prove you the Earth is flat.
No, it will prove the Earth is level, not flat. That is not a flat measuring device. It's a level measuring device.
You naysayer.
copper prices today are where silver prices
Shark,
are.
going back a little bit, I mentioned the mining, and you're saying not in our lifetime. It is all dependent on the value of the materials that are in them. If those values skyrocket, people will figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Will the EPA be around to stop it? That's a good question.
Right. I'll throw a good one out here. Do you know, once upon a time, batshit was very expensive.
Still is.
Was.
You know,
There are mines in the West that specialized in guano.
Yeah, it still is. Guano is still an expensive thing. People still buy it. You know?
Great fertilizer.
Yeah, and they buy cow shit and sheep shit and
Yeah, but it's worth more than per ton. It's worth more than cow shit and sheep shit per ton. So it's more expensive. It's a more expensive shit.
But going back, also talking about the intrinsic value of gold, a lot of people point to gold and silver and say, it's been a currency forever. Well, in certain societies it has, but in certain societies it wasn't. One of the societies that had a lot of gold was the Aztec, Mexican, and Native American populations. They had access to a lot of gold. They didn't use it as currency. They used it for religious and ceremonial purposes, but their money was shells. It was things that it wasn't gold that they used as currency.
Yeah,
and they had
it. Oh no, there was other things they used to use as barter or whatever. Gold wasn't used as one of them things. I wonder, when did gold become something that people discovered was of monetary value? When did people decide gold is worth this or gold is worth that? How did that come about? I don't know.
Well, like I just said, in certain cultures, the European cultures, they used gold as currency for a long time, going back into the before the Christian era, all that kind of stuff. In the Americas, it was not used as currency at that time.
Yeah.
It was ceremonial items that were made from gold. They would sacrifice it to lakes.
Yeah, but if you look still, there's still like people say gold is something. There's spices out there. There's certain spices that are worth 4 times the value of gold.
Yeah.
So gold, it all depends. It's just certain the spices out there.
You go way back, the Romans used to pay the soldiers in salt.
Yeah.
Salt, the most common thing on earth. But is it? It's not common if you ain't got it.
Yeah. If you haven't got it, it's worth something. That's where it is. When there's a shortage of it or whatever, as you said, that's why aluminium prices that time. Do you remember when we were on about aluminium prices being way higher? There was a shortage of a certain thing, and it was in aluminium, and it pushed the price up. Who's to say in 20 years' time there's something that's very common now that we have loads of it around of it, but all of a sudden might become a scarce commodity or something, and the price of it will just shoot up.
Good point. I'm going to keep everything.
Floppies out.
That's good. A good point. I'm going to keep everything just in case it rises.
Oh, that's why Ian is keeping everything. Anyhow, guys, it's the end of the show. I'm going to have to ask people what they I've gone past it even. What's the plan for the week? So we'll start with Shark Scrapper. What's your plan for the week?
Mostly babysitting contractors as they tear the house apart and fix it. But I got I think I got a couple of pickups I'm going to have to squeeze in there somewhere. Plus, I am starting a movement that I think Ian will like. It's going to be a global movement to return to the age of paying workers with beer.
Thank God when I said you were having a movement, I didn't know where you were going.
There might even be some videos come out during the week. I don't know.
Okay, that's Shark's plan for the week. Mike, Meltdown, what's your plan?
I've got 2 videos coming out this week. One is on Wednesday for a printer scrapping, and the second one is scrapping a 1980s, 1970s vintage CRT internals. So a couple interesting videos there. Otherwise, I am just scrapping everything that's in my shop right now, trying to clear room so that I can do some other work down there.
No problem. I seen Mike's head shake when you said scrapping a printer. He just like, you know, he just shook his head. I just looked down and
Got to get it out of the way.
E-West, Mike, what's the plan?
I got a printer out of the way. It's right in the back of my van, right into the shred pile.
Yeah, Mike must be busy with all those, Minecraft promotion videos.
Yeah, it's been hectic. It's been hectic. But I'm getting through it, Ian. I appreciate your concern, though, but I'm getting through it.
Okay, what's your
I
plan?
ain't got nothing going till probably Wednesday.
Okay.
Scrap run. I want to take a bunch of telecom boards in, and I got a little pickup to do. So I'm trying to do it all in one day, and then the rest of the week just sit here and die and laugh at the shark.
Okay, fair enough. Ian Matthews, what's your plan for the week?
Well, if I get time.
Oh. I seen this being held up a couple of weeks ago that you were going to taking it down. This is the new egg in your life, is it?
It's more than a frigging egg. Yeah, it's a pain in my ass, that thing. I kick it all over the floor. I think, here, 5-minute job, do this video. 2 weeks later, I still haven't got the time to do it.
Oh, good pun there, Ian. Any video coming out this week, Ian?
Yeah, nah.
Okay.
Look at that thing.
What the hell is that?
It's a chihuahua.
That's a possum.
Awesome.
That's a Detroit possum.
Mike's got a girlfriend. Mike's got a girlfriend.
It don't talk
Right.
back.
Anyhow, is that all Ian Matthews has planned, is it? That is.
Yeah, well, put it this way. Yesterday, I went and bought 16 boxes of laminate flooring for the living room and a corner sofa. So I think I'm going to be tied up doing DIY.
Oh, lovely. What you call it? St. Paul is saying good night, Ivy and Rose, just in case they're watching, but I don't think they're watching. But anyhow, that's it for tonight's live. I will have a video out this week. I didn't put a video out the last couple of weeks, but I'll have a video out this week, hopefully. So as always, appreciate everyone that was in, everyone that was on the panel, everyone that interacted in the chat, those that didn't, everyone that hit the like. Appreciate you all. Catch you all later. And who wants to do the Ralph bit? You're pointing the wrong way.
Pizza.
You're pointing the wrong way.
Oh.
Idiot.
Are you going to do it, Mike?
Bye, everybody.
Scrap you all later.